If you're like the rest of us, you've been waiting to hear if the new Canon 5D Mark IV is any good. Is it any better than a 5D Mark III? Today we'll take an early look at what we found during our time with the camera, now that we've got them in our rental fleet. If you're short on time, the simple answer is yes. The Mark IV is better than the Mark III. To really get into the nitty-gritty of why it's better, you'd better pull up a chair. If you're a video shooter, you're likely one of those people who's been kinda meh about the release of the Mark IV. We'll get into the still shooters in a minute, but clearly the video folks are disappointed by the specs. While the Mark III seemed to be a camera tailored to the needs of Mark II video shooters, the Mark IV has left them and us missing features such as peaking and zebras, a lack of an articulated screen, as well as the cropped 4K shooting, have been the core of people's grumblings. One thing is clear, Canon pulled some punches with the Mark IV to protect their other video offerings. That doesn't mean it's all bad news on the video front though. The dual pixel AF implementation on this camera is pretty amazing during live view. The intelligent tracking and recognition feature does an uncanny job at following subjects during video recording. Plus, the tap to focus feature will open up new possibilities for those who never quite got the hang of manual focus or couldn't be bothered with the hassle. If you're a still shooter, the 5D Mark IV might seem like a head scratcher too. Sure, resolution gets a small bump up to 30 megapixels, but unless you're a major techie, the rest of the improvements are hidden in the details. It used to be easy to sum up the capabilities of a camera in 4 or 5 bullet points. Take the original 5D for example. Just look at the specs. When it was released in 2005, photographers were still worrying about competing with film. Compared to the 5D Mark II, it was pretty clear which camera was better. Today, those comparisons are a lot more vague. To get the full story on the Mark IV, you're gonna have to go a lot deeper than the specs to see the improvements. What stood out to us the most, and the area that's gonna be the most interesting to still shooters, is in the new sensor's dynamic range. If you aren't sure what that means, you'll basically have more room to expose your highlights while retaining more shadow information. What you do capture can be pushed further in editing and will exhibit much less noise and banding in comparison to the Mark III. This is going to be a huge benefit to people shooting all kinds of work. It will also let you save an image that's up to 3 to 4 stops underexposed without the file falling apart. On the autofocus front, Canon has put a ton of work into improving subject acquisition and tracking in both their still and video AF systems. Sure, we can show you how well it worked for the video during live view, but it's really hard to demonstrate what you see through the viewfinder for a still shooter. They've added 5 new modes aimed at selecting the right AF behavior easier. The improvements in the AF don't stop there either. The Mark IV now has a larger AF coverage area in the viewfinder. You'll be able to have more flexibility with your composition and be able to track moving subjects over more of the frame. Sports and wildlife photographers will also be happy to know that all of the focus points work down to f8. As much as we talk about the AF, the only way to really know if it makes a difference in your work is to try it out. In the high ISO performance department, we have solid gains from the Mark III, but honestly, it's just catching up with what the rest of the cameras on the market can already do. One small feature that is a welcome addition is built-in Wi-Fi and GPS. Adding in the Wi-Fi and NFC connection will save you the frustration of watching other photographers with entry-level DSLRs sending their images they just shot to their phone and then posting them to Instagram. I'm not sure why proper connectivity features seem to come from the bottom up, but we finally have it in the Mark IV. Basically, Canon's problem with the Mark IV is that if you're a Mark III shooter, you know that you've got a very versatile camera and you've likely made some great images with it. This is what drives the basic reaction to the Mark IV. If you don't have any real problem with your current camera and you're not a super tech head, it might be hard to really see the benefit to the Mark IV. Does this mean it won't be a successful camera? No way. We totally love all of the improvements Canon has made on the Mark IV. There's no doubt that the new AF system and improved dynamic range will net us more keepers than we could have achieved with the Mark III, and we'll be able to push them further in post. The Canon 5D Mark IV's image quality is now in the realm of what the best sensors on the market offer. The question is, does the performance increase justify the cost for upgrading right now? For most of the crew in our office, it certainly does. Will it make sense for you? Getting hands-on with one is the best way to find out. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. To learn more about the 5D Mark IV, visit our blog and read up on our other 5D Mark IV coverage. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.